The chair. Are you still loud?
Good morning. I'd like to officially open the Highlands Road Maintenance District Resident Advisory Committee meeting. Welcome all of you. Thank you for attending. Have a roll call, please. I'll start the roll call. Frank Crow.
Stay here.
Right here. Frank Crow's here.
Yes.
Thank you, Frank. Dean Isaacson. Here. Tim McDonald. Pat.
Here.
Here. We're missing George. We're missing George.
Did he say he would be here?
He was going to try to get here. I believe he's on. So he did have a break in the schedule, but he was running a little late. Oral communications for items not on the agenda. Brittany, do you want to address us for a couple of seconds?
If someone's talking, would you please speak up?
We need to get her a microphone.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Good call, Mike.
Yeah, is that one live, Dean?
Am I live?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mike.
I'm concerned about the
Also-
drainage. Or the ability of a pipe between my property and Craig Hughes' property to carry water down from above our properties and continue to Portola Road. Up until this year, I haven't had a problem, and I know there were heavy rains this year, but even before that, the pipe that was placed between our property about 17 years ago is way too small. I believe it's only an 8-inch pipe, and it is not staying clear. And I do not know whose responsibility it is to keep it open, but I would like to see the issue addressed.
Thank you. Is there anybody else in attendance who has something that's not on the agenda?
Yes,
Sorry. Hi, who are you?
Craig Hughes.
Oh,
That sounds
Hi,
like Craig, yeah.
Craig?
You
Hi.
Have a face first.
Nice,
Craig.
nice to see you all again. Yeah, I'd just like to talk briefly about the same item as Susan. I know in the minutes it says that Howard Young was planning on getting a meeting together, and I think Frank from your committee was planning to be there. I haven't heard anything, and I know Howard is now the interim town manager and has a whole bunch of other responsibilities. So I don't know if you guys have heard anything about progress on that. But you know, I think as Susan is pointing out, we kind of want to get on this while the weather is, well, it's a little cloudy today, but relatively dry, shall we say, before the rainy season comes again, to make sure that everything is in the best shape it can be in heading into next rainy season. So I don't know if you guys have heard anything. Maybe you can let me know. And if not, if you guys could ping the town. I see Craig Taylor's on the call from the council. I don't want to lose the momentum on this and have the rainy season come and have more of a problem and actually have, you know, more severe property damage than just the erosion on the hillside. So whatever you guys can do to help bring this to the attention of the town staff and the council and keep this moving forward would be greatly appreciated. Thanks.
Thank you, Craig. Anybody else have any oral communications for items that are not on our agenda? Okay, thank you. Our next item is approval of the minutes of the March 20th, 2023 meeting. I believe those were attached to the agenda. Is there any comment associated with those minutes?
Teresa, can you please talk into the mic? Thank
I'm
you.
sorry, Liz. Yes, I'm asking for any additions or corrections to the minutes of the March 20th meeting.
None for me.
No. not
Do I
really.
hear a motion to approve?
I so move.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes approved. Thank you. Old business. This is really the kind of the meat of the coconut for our urgent meeting today. Our water main replacement project for those residents who have been in Woodside Highlands. You know how difficult this project has been. The water company has had lots of starts and stops again. As of last week, they were supposed to start paving on Wednesday. Fortunately, in the interim, we were able to work with the paver, who's a company that we've not worked with before. A very very nice gentleman by the name of Robert Bortolato, and he walked the hill with us and marked those areas that were not going to be repaved by the water company water main project. And we have since gotten a bid for him for paving those areas. And it's our task today to take a look at his bid, see if we have any questions associated with that bid, and see if we have enough interest to proceed with the paving so that we can have a joint project with the Cal Water Company, so that at the end of the day, we have one inconvenience, one paving project, and hopefully a better product at the end of the day. So with that, I will open it up to conversation. I believe that the members of this committee have received the quote from Mr. Bortolato. Haven't had a lot of time to look at it. We got it yesterday. So let's open it for some questions and comments.
Teresa? So I'm looking at this, I'm wondering, I was under the impression that this was going to continue on down the road, the whole project with Cal Water, but it doesn't, what I have here does not. It only talks about the area around the water tank, $61,000, right?
No, so it's 6,800 feet, which covers the whole of the work that we walked with them.
Oh, all the way down to Santa Maria.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I mean, it doesn't call out explicitly within the quote that we got from him. Here's the sizing and so forth. But I compared it to the bids that we got back in 2022 for the same work with Bay Area Paving.
Okay.
This is about an additional 1,300 square feet. So we're actually doing a fair amount more than we had planned in the prior project. And that prior project was to extend from the water tank all the way down to the intersection.
The Santa Maria Russell
Yeah,
intersection. and
the
all
Santa
that.
Maria Russell intersection.
And Leroy too.
The prior project did not include Leroy. No,
This project includes Leroy.
right.
It does, you say?
It does include
Okay, so-
Leroy. It includes from the upper water tank down Russell, all the way down to Santa Maria, that complicated intersection.
Right.
We've spent a lot of time looking at that intersection.
Right.
And then it includes Leroy.
I don't think we added a whole lot of scope though to Leroy from what they were already planning. So I think the bulk of the work that was for Leroy was the work that they were already planning on doing from their road
Okay, and the
repairs.
mess, the bottom of Leroy in Santa Maria, I presume.
Yes,
It's a mess.
yes.
That will be taken care of by the water company. About the only thing that we're adding is a little bit of swale about halfway down Leroy
Right.
and some work in the gutter just outside Alana's house.
So the expanded scope that we added on Leroy is fairly minimal compared to the rest of the hill.
Okay, great, thank you.
If you look at the white marks on the pavement, you can see where the additional paving is being done for the road maintenance district. The pink markings are those responsibilities for Cal Water. So it's a little bit complicated looking at the asphalt, but you can see where the pink is simply what Cal Water had committed to pay light additional paving areas for. Sorry to be such a thing with some of the questions. For example, where Russell comes down, the steep part of Russell, as we call it, rolls out, swings around, hits Trinity, Tynan, and where all the mailboxes are. So that, as of yesterday when I saw it, was a mishmash, it was like a rat maze or something. So is the solution there, for example, there's so many things going on, is it going to be to totally paved to the, all the way out to the outside?
Essentially, yes. I have pictures of all that. and
Okay,
I
good,
can-
because
you can
that
see them.
would be the only logical thing to do. I think.
Yeah, that intersection there, much of it's been replaced. I mean, I don't want to necessarily say all, because there might be a piece that we probably omitted for various reasons, but
But the idea would be not to spend our time later going like paving that.
no, the intent was for us to be able to try and get everything in
As
this
a
job.
team.
Yeah, in a single repair.
Okay.
Yep.
Matt, one question. As you look back to what we had quoted before, what were the sums we got like now a 2-year-old quote? What were the totals from them, from Bay Area Paving?
So the total that we had from them previously, I'd have to add it up, but it was a total of about 5,500 square feet worth of paving.
Okay.
And this job, we're doing about 6,800 square feet. I don't recall the total. I think it was a combination of a $38,000 piece for paving the main section, plus another about 8 or 9-ish. I can go back into the numbers if we want to look at it.
No.
For the extension that goes up near the 112 driveway. There's a couple key differences here, though. So one of them being that the job that we had previously, one was smaller, but two, they also were doing a lesser base. So they were doing a 4-inch grind and repair. This is a 6-inch grind and repair. And so when you actually take the price per square foot, which I was going through this morning, and Teresa, I quoted you a wrong number earlier. It came out to about $8.35 per square foot for Bay Area Paving to do the work. What we have here comes out to $9 a square foot. I think we recognize that things have become more expensive between now and the previous bid. So it seems like this is a reasonable bid, especially given the additional grinding and base that they're going to be putting in.
I think it would be probably good to mention the bid total here in the meeting. I think it hasn't really come up.
Yep. So the bid that we got from Bortolotto is composed of 2 chunks. So one of it, the main piece, is for the roadway work and the 6-inch grinding, which is the 6,873 square feet that I was mentioning earlier. That's for $61,857. The second is installing 2 new sections of swale, and I might need you to keep me honest, Frank, but I think they're both up around the Upper Russell area. That is 387 square feet in total, and this is actually a higher amount because it's a totally new build. It's at $13 a square foot, and that's about $5,031. So the total of it is, I actually wrote this down here.
888.
There you go. So 66,888 for the base repairs and the addition of the new swale and the laying of the new asphalts. What that does not include is the seal that we would have to place on top. So we're going to have to work to get a second bid from a company that would provide the seal similar to what we put down with Bay Area Paving previously.
Yeah, we should note that it might not be necessary to do the seal since what we're getting is a repair that is supposed to restore the roadway to actually better than it was before. So we'll see what it looks like afterwards.
Questions about the bid from Robert Bortolotto process. If we're able to do this, I think from the standpoint of the residents of Woodside Highlands, it has some great advantages, including one paving project as opposed to having a paving project conducted by Cal Water, and then us coming along and having to do additional paving with that associated inconveniences, road closures, et cetera. So this would be one project done at once. We don't have a specific time frame, but from what we've seen in the past, it's probably a 2-week project. That's a very big inconvenience for residents, but they will be able to have access to their homes in certain parts of the day. And we're significantly sympathetic to that. On the other hand, we're going to wind up with.
Teresa, I think it's great to combine this into one. Is there a map or something that shows what projects we're doing outside of the Cal Water? I didn't see it as part of the package.
No, there's not a map. You can walk the hill and look at the white portions that are marked on the roadway that are our portion. It's very hard to tell, Mike, because we literally walked that hill twice with the paver, and it was take a spray can and try to figure out what the Cal Water markings meant, and then add to them so that it would look like a whole instead of a patchwork quilt, which is what we would have wound up with if we had just proceeded with the Cal Water paving, which was not our choice. I mean, that's not, Cal Water says, you know, they're returning the road to the condition that they.
Yeah, I think,
Thank you.
I think, you know, high level, it's important to understand it's basically a full pull of Lower Russell on the sections which are really in bad overall structural integrity. There are some sections on Lower Russell which we'll spare out because overall it's reasonably good in some sections, but mostly it's a full pull of Lower Russell all the way through to the end of our, which goes into BJ's driveway, which ends up BJ driveway. So that's which was on our list also for a long time. That also gets included. And then the swales are on the left and right, and it also includes the widening what we had in mind for Lower Russell at the intersection with Sutter area.
Yeah, I don't know who suggested this originally, but this is really a great deal because the PG&E is essentially doing about half of what we wanted to do already.
Correct.
And what we're doing is filling in the rest with a much higher quality solution than we had tended to originally. And we essentially get a discount because PG&E is covering a lot of the overhead, and we're not paying as much per square foot as we would if we had to bring this outfit up just for us. So this is a win-win situation.
You mean Cal Water, not PG&E?
Oh, well, yes.
Yeah, I said, yeah, utilities are all the
The
same, right?
utility.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
the public utility that we have limited sway with. So this was
Yeah.
a big win for us as far as being able to work with them and their paver.
Yeah.
Any other conversation or questions about the process? And in terms of timing, I believe that Cal Water, who is the driver of this project in terms of timing, wants to proceed immediately. As I mentioned earlier, they had a schedule starting last Wednesday, to start the paving project. So assuming that we proceed with this and we give Mr. Bortolato the authorization that we think we're going to do, he will go back to Cal Water. Our representative is Mark Trujillo. I suspect he will try to start this as soon as possible and maybe as early as Monday. I don't know, but he is anxious to start. So time is of the essence. I'm getting word out to our residents as well.
I say
Any other-
just one quick thing. I mean, I don't know exactly who brought up this idea of joining forces and doing a really nice job instead of a patchwork and then later another horrible patchwork. I don't know if it was Teresa, who it was, but I think it was brilliant. And it's going to have a really nice result compared to a really patchy look that we would have gotten stuck with.
Takes a team. Any
So-
other conversation? Work? You have paving, does the paving subcommittee want to make a recommendation to the committee and then we'll go from there?
So I would just make the motion to approve and go ahead with purchasing or approve the bid, what we got from working with the contractor here.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
So I'd like to make a small amendment to that, and that's to add a contingency fee in case something crops up. Or, you know, on site as we're doing the paving and there's some obvious something that we all missed. So we'd like to add a contingency fee of 15% in our approval. What that works out to be
76,921.
that's a 15%.
That's a 15% contingency on the 66,888.
Yeah.
76,921.
Do you want to make a recommendation to amend the approval amount to $77,000 just safety? I believe in our budget we had 95,000.
No, we actually have 150,000 for the work, plus a 10% contingency, so another 15. That's what we budgeted this year, was a total of 165.
So we're coming well within our budgeted amount.
Yeah.
Are you okay with that amendment, George?
Yes, yeah.
So the motion as it stands is to approve the paving quotation from Mr. Bottolato with an additional 15% contingency fee to approve an amount of $77,000 for paving the Upper Russell, Santa Maria, Leroy area. Do I have a second?
A second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? That's terrific. Thank you very much, everybody. We are going to have a better product. If there's no more business for the water main replacement project and the paving, I'd like to move on to new RAC membership recruitment. We kind of went into the zones here a little bit. We unfortunately haven't heard back from the town in terms of what the formal process is. I believe there's a website that has committee membership and applications, and we are included in there. I believe that if people are interested, they would throw their hat in the ring through the town, and then somehow or other we get notified of applicants and then do some sort of interview and appointment. But this is all, I'm guessing. I had some questions into Jeff Alps as our mayor because he's designated as the person that works with the chair, and I'm waiting to hear back from him. Craig, I see you there. Maybe you can enlighten us a little bit more on how that works.
Yeah, can you hear me okay?
Yep, no problem.
Okay, yeah, so the process is people submit applications through the town website. Those will come to you as the chair. Most committees usually discuss the applications at their committee meeting. And then the chair and the mayor get together and discuss, and then that's, you know, basically through the mayor, the council is basically kind of by consent. So I think the next step is to get people to apply, and then for you guys on the committee to make a recommendation through you, the chair, and get together with the mayor.
Okay, well, that's helpful. Thank you, Craig. I know that there have been some people who've just informally thrown their hat in the ring, but we haven't really explained to anybody what the process is. So I think that's probably our next step, is to get that notice out to the residents that they need to fill out the application that's currently on the town website. And we'll proceed from there. Okay, thank you, Craig. Any other comments or ideas on committee membership?
So I'm sorry. So we'll plan to probably review those in a future meeting. So we'll send it out to the residents, and then we'll set a date and ask them to submit by that.
Craig, can you please mute yourself?
Okay, new business. dates to note, the Woodside Fire District will be on the Woodside Highlands Hill on June 19th. Residents in the past have participated fully on that. And so we will send out notices shortly before the 19th, encouraging people to cut their limbs and put them out by the side of the road. How that's going to impact paving, I don't know. I guess we're going to have to see that as it unfolds. I'm going to be on the fly on that one. Okay, financial, any other new business? I don't see anything. Financial review, the budget update. Matt, do you have anything for us on finances?
Nothing significant from the last time. So just the one change is that we submitted the cost for the dumpsters from Bruce for the spring cleanup, which is $13.24. So that's been submitted to the town, and the town's going to cut a check to Bruce to reimburse him. There's a few outstanding that I've been following up with folks on. So Keem Doe and following up with his drainage service. I emailed with him, and so we're going to be looking to reimburse him as well. The total of $12.50 was approved at a prior meeting, and so I'm going to make sure if it's within that amount, we'll see what we can do. And then I think Teresa, you had mentioned that there was a reimbursement for Bruce for the mirror repair.
We had done a polling of the members because the mirror wound up needing a new 4x4. So that was, we expected that to be about $200, and we had all approved that expenditure. That's the mirror that had been knocked down by some utility person or truck or something during some period of time. I don't even remember. Anyway, Bruce and Jesse put the mirror back up. They were trying to use the old 4x4, but there wasn't enough left. So they needed to go out and purchase a new one. So I don't have a bill for that. I keep asking them to submit one. I think it's something around the $200 mark.
Okay. So I'll follow up with them there. So I mean, that's the major changes. Since we didn't actually hire any labor for the cleanup in either the fall or spring, we did save $4,000 that we had budgeted for that between those two jobs. So with the expected revenue that we have this year in our prior budget and what's been approved with the cleanup, the paving work previously, we should be sitting in an ending balance of $344,913. This again, like I said, needs to just be confirmed with Cindy at the town, but this is my math and this is what we're going to say. So,
Any questions? Thank you, Matt.
Mhm.
Drains. We have our drains subcommittee that's been working with the residents, and I know we've had some progress on that project. You guys want to talk about where we are? Tim, you were the last one that had any activity going on with that.
Sure. So we've gotten 3 bids. The first bid was from Soil Technology. Their bid was for $16,250. They were going to do the culvert in asphalt where everybody else was going to do it in concrete. And theirs was for quite a bit more for lowering a drain box above it, which we need to address at some point, maybe with berms instead of digging the whole thing up and lowering it. And they were by far the highest up. Next up, we had the Bay Area Paving, and their price for doing just the culvert, that 12-foot culvert or 15, whatever it is, $5,000, $4,900. And that was also with concrete, and they were the second highest bid. The third, the lowest bid, was Bruce. He came in at $200, by far the cheapest, $2,000, almost less than the next highest one. And his is pretty informed. He's done these culverts up in the Highlands before, and I inspected all the culverts that he had done, and they were all holding together very well after all these years.
So with a $3,200 bid with a quality work, that would be my choice out of the three drain culverts. Now Bruce does not do asphalt work. Further down the hill, we also want to put in a berm to keep the water from overtopping the swale. And he will not do that. He does not bid on asphalt work, which is fine. That can all be taken care of by Bear Paving and whoever else is going to come up and do paving work and repair work up on our Highlands before next winter. So that's how that stands. There was one other part to this that I need to address. And that is where they put in the new fence down above Tobin. The road is caving in under the fence. We talked about it. He suggested that we get a 2x12 or 2x10 on edge underneath the fence, to keep the underneath the pavement from caving on down to Tobin's as it's doing at this time. Very small, 40 feet of wood to be placed in that. So I told him I'd bring that up at this meeting, and there you go.
Do we know how much that would be?
He has not given us a bid for it yet, but pretty minimal.
Well, with Jesse's time.
But with Jesse's time and the wood, 40 feet of wood that gets put underneath the asphalt. And later on, the asphalt will have to get repaired there.
Right.
Because as you drive past it, you'll see it starting to go down into Tobin's yard.
Right.
So I won't try and guess what they're gonna do. I'm just bringing it up for future consideration that we need to take care of at some point.
I think we should probably do we recommend we get a formal bid from Bruce on that for the next meeting?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And Bruce, when everything can start on the culvert on the top of Trinity next week.
If we vote on it, let's get some conversation about that first. I know Jean and Frank, you've both been on that subcommittee. Do you have anything to add or difference in opinion? Summary?
Yeah. Frank, you want-
No, I have nothing to add.
It'll just be interesting to know how much, we should find out to compare all three bids, find out what that extra berm length would cost, but it's probably minimal. I mean, I don't think it's gonna bring it up to Bay Area's number.
No,
Chad.
Bruce's. No, it won't change. We already
No,
talked
but I
about
mean, we're comparing a little bit apples and oranges. We have Bay Area Paving's bid that includes berm work, right, all the way
it.
down?
No, they broke it down.
Oh, it's
The
separate.
culvert is a separate bid from the berm, which is separate bid from the berm on Leroy too.
Well, yeah, that's a different topic.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyway, I just wanted to be clear that the bids actually match the work, the amount of work done. So if Bruce is not doing asphalt work and he's only bid on
Bruce, the
concrete,
two bids that we're comparing here between Bay Area Paving and Bruce are the same amount of concrete culvert on the top of Trinity.
okay,
So we're apples to apples, one's at $5,000 roughly and one's at $3,000 roughly.
okay, because they were separated in the other bid. in Bay
And
Area.
those two
Okay,
were
gotcha,
broken.
gotcha.
Yeah, thanks to Tim for straightening that all out. It's exactly the right thing.
So if is the berm identified on the Bay Area paving bid?
Further down Trinity,
Right,
raising the berm.
Right.
Yes, that is.
and what is that
I think it's
price?
$3,000, 3,200 if I'm not mistaken. Let me look. Is $1,987,
$1987.
1987.
Okay.
So it sounds like for,
Excuse me, that was wrong. That's for the Leroy one. It's $1,800 for 74 linear feet of berm raising on Trinity.
so 1,800, Bruce's bid, 32.
Does not include the asphalt. That's two separate things. We're talking a different
Am I
animal.
talking apples and oranges here?
No,
then?
we're talking an asphalt berm halfway down Trinity as opposed to 12 feet of culvert on the top of Trinity.
Right. And we need both.
Yes, but Bruce is only bidding on the 12 feet of culvert on the top of Trinity.
Right.
The Bay Area Paving do a
They're,
bid on
they're
the upper.
fine with coming in later and putting in raising the berm down, further down Trinity and doing the one on Leroy that's missing. And that's gonna be approximately $4,000 to do both of them.
So it sounds to me like we would want to authorize Bruce to do the initial work with the concrete
Right.
Trinity, and then come back later with Bay Area paving to do the berm work.
Berm work.
at-
And whatever other,
And it sounds like we've got some work that needs to be done along the Tobin fence for asphalt.
that's also after the wood is put in there.
Right, exactly. So we'd have to get some bid for that as
Right,
well.
right.
But that might be that next step to,
Right.
to do that.
Right.
Any
Um,
other conversation? Liz, I see that you're here. Do you want to chime in? Do you have any other comments for us as we consider? this
Well,
project?
I would just say, you know, you guys have more experience at this than I do. It feels a little bit disjointed to have the two different, to have the solutions separated between two vendors. So, you know, it's obviously I have to really stay on to get the second part done, stay on top of it. And it's just, obviously you guys have a lot on your plates. So that's all I'd say.
Liz, I think, considering the fact this little berm is a pretty small job. The thing on Leroy is a little job, and the newly discovered problem there along Tobin's fence where it's collapsing. That kind of adds up to 3 little jobs, a nice little job for Bay Area to do at one time, probably. And
Mhm.
the fact that they're willing to do the little thing and not get the whole job, that's great. I think that they're willing to do that rather than go get huffy and walk away or something. So,
Yeah, no, I agree. It's just they're willing to do it now. So we should, I wouldn't want to delay too much, right? Because as it gets closer to the fall and that kind of thing, they could get busy and not want a small job, that kind of thing.
Sure.
Okay, any other
Agreed.
conversation about this? Do I have a recommendation for proceeding with the Trinity drain work?
I
Tim, you
think we
wanna-
should proceed with Bruce to get this started next week.
I'd be happy to make a move to do that. So I move that we take Tim's suggestion and ask Bruce to fill the broken 12-foot section of the concrete at Trinity and Santa Maria for his bid of 3,000 something.
32.
And should we add a contingency to that? Matt?
Probably be consistent, just keep it at 15%.
You want to make a formal bid with the formal amount?
$3,700.
I second. All those in favor?
I,
Aye.
Opposed? Great, thank you very much.
Does that include the second little job? I'm confused.
The berm is gonna take place. We're gonna put that on the agenda for our next meeting to be added to any of the little asphalt needs that we have. And that will be included then. So it
Okay.
does not include the berm.
We need to get a bid from Bay Area Paving for the
Right.
piece that's next to the Tobin property, and then we'll just approve the whole thing.
Right. That's how.
Okay, and what are we calling, just so I can update my little flank of residents, what should I call that? What that is like, are we calling it the berm or the little asphalt work?
We're calling it berm. Yes.
Okay,
We-
and that's the berm kind of down near John and Lenora's, right?
Correct. And we've already
Okay.
approved the culvert work and the
Right. Yeah, so the culvert work's approved and then the berm down by John and Lenora's will get done as part of this other 3-project thing that we need to get Bay Area Paving's bid on. And it'll be on next month's agenda.
so just to clarify, the berm ends up down by John and Lenore's. It's what, 74, 75 feet long? It starts up with the
Okay,
concrete.
thank you.
work. Yeah.
Yeah, good. Okay, good. And however, the culvert work is I'm sorry, it's a little hard to hear, so sorry if I'm repeating, but the culvert work is to start next week. Is that what I heard?
It can start whenever Bruce can get his worker there and started on it. So yeah, and it starts at his discretion. We'll get back to the contractor and see when he can start.
Great. Okay, and then you'll just update us.
Well, there's not much to update. You'll see.
I mean, on the start.
see him up there, huh?
I mean, on the start, because obviously that will like affect Kristen and Klaus leaving their house and that kind of thing. So just, you'll let us know when he's starting.
It'll be improved in a future meeting. So we're gonna bring it to the next meeting and we'll discuss the start date at that time.
Sorry, I'm talking about
no.
the culvert.
The culvert.
Oh, the
big one.
culvert. Sorry.
Isn't Bruce saying very soon, like?
I'm sorry,
week.
Teresa. Were you, it sounds like Teresa was talking about the berm. I'm asking about when the culvert's starting.
That's starting immediately as soon as Bruce can get the supplies and his workers there. So we'll
Theoretically next week.
theoretically.
Okay.
next week.
Okay,
Along with the paving that's going to be done along Santa Maria and Lever
okay,
Lake
so
and West-
just to be really detailed then, so I know you previously said you were going to alert the residents, everybody on the hill about the paving. So will you include the culvert? Just so like Ezra and Kristen, and everybody knows, so I don't do that.
Yes.
Okay,
and
great.
Any
Thank you.
questions, they can refer them back to us for sure.
Okay, for sure. Thank you so much.
Mhm. Great. Any other questions? Thank you very much, guys, for all your hard work. Paving plans, I think we've taken that. Old business, PG&E mirror placement at 124 Santa Maria. I think that's the mirror that the resident kept getting notices for. I think we've gone as far as we can as a rack. There's no individual at PG&E that is taking ownership of that notice, and the town has no people or persons or department that they know of that we should follow up with. And so if the property owner gets another notice about the mirror that needs to be taken down, at that time, hopefully we'll have some additional reference to know who to talk to from PG&E, but right now we don't know who it is. So I'm putting that aside as project is not completed, but we don't know who to talk to there.
They probably have forgotten about the whole thing. I would bet. We may not hear back.
That might be good. The next item is just, again, it was just on our follow-up list. I believe Matt, you were taking lead on that and had some comments as to the next step. The Smoot fence at what, 10 Russell?
Frank and I had a conversation. We need to sit down with the homeowner. We have not done that yet. I'll send him a text later today, see if he has time to meet.
Okay, great. And who's going to be taking on? I'll follow up.
It should be the paving subcommittee. I think that sits down and talks to them.
Okay, great. So that'll be you, Jorg, and Frank.
Yep.
Great. Thank you very much. We've come to the end of our meeting, and I promised that this would be less than an hour. Does anybody else have any off-agenda item that needs to be considered at this time?
Just one quick thing. I don't think this needs discussion, but Betty Pye has complained about water coming down under her property, under the mailboxes at Russell and what is that? Diamond?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so we should address that in the future meeting. It probably may require a little bit of berm repair.
Might be something we want to add to the Bay Area paving.
Indeed, I just wanted to get it in the minutes so that
Yeah.
we don't forget it in the future.
Speaking of minutes, is anybody taking minutes?
I was taking minutes.
Oh, Matt, you're wonderful.
What a guy. I agree.
I have notes, but I wouldn't call them minutes.
Well, maybe mine are more notes, but
Between the two of us, we'll get it done.
Yeah.
Okay, great. That's wonderful. Do I hear a motion to adjourn the meeting?
I so move.
Second.
I second.
All those in favor? Aye.
I
Opposed? Thank you very much for everybody coming. I truly appreciate it. And I appreciate our technical support. Gary, thank you for doing that for us. Let's take this offline and go home and have a cup of coffee.